Morning friends, why Russia wants to leave the International Space Station? Russia now plans to build and manage its own space station which aims to launch into orbit by 2030. According to Interfax report, its space module is being assembled by the Energia Corporation and is set to cost at least 5 billion. After more than 2 decades of international cooperation in space research, Russia this week announced that it would be withdrawing from International Space Station in 2025 and build and manage its own floating laboratory that will be launched into orbit by 2030. The decision to leave also comes at a time when relations between Russia and the US has been steadily deteriorating on multiple fronts, with the two powers also accusing each other for militarizing space. Roscosmos Space Agency Chief Dmitry Rojkov has quoted as saying that the Interfax news agency, if in 2030 in accordance with our plans we can put it into orbit, it will be colossal breakthrough. So what does International Space Station do? A space station is essentially a large spacecraft that remains in low Earth orbit for extended periods of time. It is like a large laboratory in space and allows astronauts to come aboard and stay for weeks or months to carry out experiments in microgravity. The Mir space station of the former Soviet Union and later operated by Russia was functional from 1986 to 2001. The ISS has been in space since 1998 and has been known for the exemplary cooperation between 5 participating space agencies that have been running it: NASA, which is from United States, Roscosmos Russia, JAXA Japan, ESA Europe and CSA Canada. For over 20 years since its launch, humans have continuously lived and carried out scientific investigations on the 150 billion ISS under microgravity conditions, being able to make breakthroughs in research not possible on Earth. As per NASA, 243 people from 19 countries have so far visited the ISS, and the floating laboratory had hosted more than 3,000 research and educational investigations from researchers in 108 countries and areas, carrying out cutting-edge research in various disciplines including biology, human physiology and physical, material and space science. The recent US-Russia space rivalry. Russia has been a crucial player in making ISS a success, with other space agencies relying on advanced Russian modular space station construction technology to build the space station in the initial years. As per Financial Times report, Russia was also indispensable because of the Soyuz passenger vehicle, which served the only way of transporting astronauts to the ISS ever since the US retired its space shuttle program in 2011. This reliance on Russia ended last year, however, when the US started to use SpaceX system developed by Elon Musk. Last year, the US accused Russia of carrying out weapons test after projectile was said to have been fired from Russian satellite. Russia in return blamed the US for treating space as a military theater. So what does Russia plan to do now? Russia now plans to build and manage its own space station, which aims to launch into orbit by 2030. According to Interfax, its space module is being assembled by the Energia Corporation and is set to cost at least 5 billion. The station will reportedly orbit the Earth at a higher altitude, enabling it to better observe polar regions, especially since Russia plans to develop the Arctic Sea route as the ice melts. However, leaving the ISS would also mean that Russian researchers would lose access to a laboratory that has seen over 15 years of engineering and assembly work to build it, and whose research potential is only now truly expected to take off. NASA had ruled out retiring ISS until at least 2028 and may continue to use it after that by upgrading key systems, the Financial Times reported. Borisov also said that Russia would manage the space station itself, but has left the door open for other countries to join. Last year, Russia rejected a US offer to be a part of the Artemis program, and last month signed an agreement with China to joint develop a lunar base. Thank you.